Merry Meet Witchlings, and welcome back to my channel. This is the Twisted Witch Midnight Moon Song here, and today we are going to be going through all my divination supplies. I thought it'd be really fun to show you guys how I use divination in my daily practice, so let's begin. First, here we have my tarot cards, my one and only set of tarot cards, with a guest appearance by my familiar Esther. She's in a very playful mood right now. Get out of the way, baby. And ever since I set these up here to do the video, she's just been right here. But this is my only deck of tarot cards, the Shadowscapes Tarot. And these cards I got on my birthday. And earlier that year, my husband got his tarot cards. Well, his tarot cards are actually the sister deck to this one. And this one is more of a Seelie Fairy Court deck. Well, his is unseelie. It's like deep, dark, and woodsy, while mine is more bright and magical woodsy. The top card here is the Death card, and this card was the first card I ever drew from this deck. I shuffled it and wanted to sort of give myself my own card, the card that was mine, and this is the card I drew. As you can see, this Death card is the Phoenix, symbolizing not just death, but the rebirth and the new beginning, a new you that can come forth from letting a part of you die, a part of you go. And this is what the back looks like. I'm not going to show you all the cards in this deck, but I will show you some. Here's another one. This is the Fool. This one's upside down. Yes. The next set is like a Native American version of Esther. You're laying on my cards, baby. Native American version of tarot, and they're called medicine cards. This is specifically more of a Cherokee based. I do not have a lot of Native American in me. I have very little, but it's a part of me that I absolutely adore, that I do feel fully connected to. So I do try. Now, these cards have animals on them. The backs are very, very simple. They're just these. They have animals on them. Esther, stop. Esther, stop it. Sometimes she'll get like this when I'm actually doing readings and stuff. She'll be very, very respectful and actually let me do my reading, but when I'm just doing stuff like this, just showing them off and such, she wants to be all up on them and play with them. Esther, stop it. As you can see, these ones lined with animals. They have numbers that help you find them in the book easier. And like I said, they're not just like tarot cards. This is one of my totems, a snake, and I decided to put it on top to show you. I have multiple other totems I'll probably go through in a whole nother video. But whatever setup you have for tarot, you can have for medicine cards. Now this is an oracle deck that I've been making myself. And if any of you have made your own oracle deck, you know how fun and interesting they can be. This deck, it doesn't have a back. The back is actually very glossy. And I did all these with no pencil, just sketching with pen. And this was the first card I did, the Raven, because Raven to me can symbolize lots of things. But first and foremost, it's one of my deep totems, my deep shaman totems. And for these cards, it is ideal to have a deck that's sort of 50-50, has stuff about trials and stuff about rewards, so you're having a balance. But for my deck, every single card in here is one of both. It can be read either way, and some of the things in here, those are some blank ones that I haven't finished yet. This deck is not completely finished. I do have some other stuff in it that I still want to do. Some of the designs are very simplistic, like you saw, and some of them are a lot more complicated. But it is the Grimoire Tarot, or the Grimoire Tarot. I haven't decided on, or I didn't mean tarot, I meant Oracle. But I haven't decided exactly on the name yet. I'm still sort of tossing around a few in my head. But I will come back to these and do a flip through of every single card if that's a video people would want to see. Now moving away from the cards, we're getting into the stones. These stones are all Rune Stones, and I have these 3 sets, so I decided to show them all to you. This set is the very first set I ever got, and I actually made this set. I made this back in high school, and my ceramics teacher, this was a personal project. It wasn't one that was for a grade or anything like that, but I just took the clay and then I carved it into, because I didn't want to use glaze, because I liked the way the clay felt when it was fired, like the smooth, almost chalky like feel of it. So I wanted just to leave it like that, so I didn't want to use any glaze on it whatsoever. And she agreed. She was a very, very wonderful woman. Her name was Mrs. Barker, and she was very respectful of religion and race and stuff like that. So when I told her that I wanted to make my own rune set, she was super supportive, and she said, oh, without a doubt, she would fire it and everything for me and glaze it if I wanted to. That's the first one. This is the one I used the most. This is the one that got me known around the school as the girl who could talk to stones, or the girl who could read stones. And I used to have people I didn't know come up to me and ask me if I could read them. I would have some jocks come up and ask me if I could read them the game. And I was like, that's not exactly how that works, but I'll do my best. This is the second set I made. Fun fact, a lot of my stuff got stolen, and this was one of the things that got stolen from me. Or I believed it did. It was in a set of a bunch of my pagan stuff that got stolen from me from a guy that wanted to date me that I wouldn't date back when I started dating my husband. And I thought they were gone, so I made myself a new set with the oven baked clay you can get at Walmart, and it's black. And this one's kind of messy because the paintbrush kind of got away from me here, but it's just black clay with lavender, because black and lavender are my favorite colors, so that's why that one's there. They're smaller, as you can see, a lot smaller. These ones are very thick, and even though I like these and I do use these ones are the ones I use the most. This deck was given to me by one of my friends, and I said set, I'm sorry. This set was given to me by one of my friends. It's just a regular store-bought porcelain ceramic set. And I don't use this for actual reading. I use it to decorate my altar with most of the time. I've used it for other spell work sometimes. When you see the altar tour, there will be, my altar for Loki has Loki's name in runes with these. And my main altar that I work with, my working altar, I have the rune for protection on that one. Now lastly, we have Astrion. Astrion is my pendulum, and I'll do a video. I did a video previously showing different uses for pendulums aside from divinary works and practices. Like, it's a little bit more abnormal. Like, I use him for a wand most of the time, but I do use him for some divinary work and dowsing and stuff like that. So I thought it best to share him here. And I gave a little synopsis on why I call him Astrion. That's the name it gave me, or he gave me, whichever you want. You'll notice I go back and forth between he and it. So I do plan on doing a full video on Astrion, explaining everything in detail. But he is amethyst on one side and smoky quartz on the other. I use it for a lot of things. Like I said, I use it for my wand. I use it in so many normal pagan acts that people normally wouldn't, or at least I haven't seen people normally use a pendulum for. I always use it. Like I said, he's my wand. It's just a part of me that much more so than I have a wand. I have an anathema. I have a sacred feather. I have several sacred feathers. Then I have him, and he seems to just top them all. But thank you everyone for joining me. That is my entire divinary collection as of right now. I don't think I'm getting any more, but if I do, I will let you know. I want to work on reading bones, because I use bones a lot in my practice, but never for really reading. I'm still super entry level at that. When I read bones, I meditate holding a skull and kind of let it come to me. But I wanted to save that for a separate video, because I have a video on bones coming, and I don't want to show that particular skull that I use because it's decorated, and I want to show it when it's in that video. So know that that is something that I'll do as well, sort of a skull meditation divination thing, I guess. I'm not sure what I would call it. But aside from that, I am also an automatic writer. I don't really use a lot of mirror divination, so I didn't put that here. I can't really put anything physical for automatic writing, other than a pen and paper and just being a normal pen and paper. And that I can't really control. That just kind of happens. Sometimes it'll happen, sometimes it won't. One time we were doing a Ouija board, or spirit board, or whatever you like to call it. I stopped doing it because I didn't want to do it anymore. My husband and his friend kept doing it, and the spirit took over, and I started automatic writing, and I could hear them calling out what the questions were, and every time they would call out, my hand would move, and I couldn't stop it from moving. It was really strange, and I was like, I have to try to move. And all I could do was force my hand to open and drop the pencil. And when I did, I came back and everything came true. And they looked at the paper and all the answers were written in order perfectly on the lines. I wish I still had that paper, but I was bringing it home with me, and I think it might have accidentally got thrown away, which was very, very kind of sad. But anyway, thank you for joining me here today. If you like, subscribe, leave a like, and click that notification bell. Let me know in the comments what other kind of divination you like to do, or if you do divination at all. I know there's many, many types of divination out there. So, let me know. Have a blessed day, and blessed be.